with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's get to some of these fan-submitted trade proposals for Brandon Aiyuk. We put this out on Twitter yesterday. We got over 30 responses. I got about 6 or 7 I picked out. A lot of varying answers, but a lot of similar ones, so I tried to divvy them up a little bit. The first one we have comes from Pittsburgh Sucks 75. Teller, a first and a third. Who says no?
Whoa!
No.
The Browns ain't. Listen, I'm disconnecting a phone line. Give me that. What are you doing? Don't be doing all that much. First, third, and Teller.
That's nuts. That is
too
nuts.
much. Second one comes from your average Browns fan. Given we have to extend Aiyuk probably, Elijah Moore, a 2025 second and third. So a second, third, and Elijah Moore.
Yeah, now
Who
we're
says
talking.
no?
I think San Francisco would say no, but I would do that.
Second and third, yeah, John Lynch ain't get up on you.
Yeah, John Lynch is smart now. John Lynch is bright.
Like I said, that's a little bit too much. I want to give up the fourth. I don't like the third. I'm going to do 2-4 and Elijah Moore.
2-4 Elijah Moore.
I like that. If it has a ring, they'll say no though.
Well, I would do either one of those. Yeah. I would do the 2 and 4 with Elijah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to be San Francisco's language. I don't.
All right, next one comes from our guy Xavier P. Greg Newsome, since we refused to play him outside, and a third-round pick. So Newsome and a third for Aiyuk. Who says no to that deal?
I
would do that.
Refuse to play him outside. I mean, he can't.
It's not that we refuse to play him outside.
He can't get out there.
He's not good enough to play outside.
Man, this is tough because I like the advantage of having Greg Newsome, but I'm like, how much is Newsome better than Cam Mitchell? And it's a third.
What is San Francisco's greatest area of need? I have to say, I look at them as one of the most, if not the most well-balanced roster in the NFL.
They complete.
I don't know where they're screaming we're weak here.
Interior offensive line, they do have a bit of a need. Trent Williams is the best left tackle in football.
Yeah,
one of
and
the
I
two
know
or three
he's
best.
got long in the tooth
The
here.
rest of their offensive line is not elite.
Okay.
It's solid, not
so
elite.
maybe, and I think you were going there, maybe a Teller or a Batonio.
What if they want Zinner?
Hell no.
I don't think so because you got to stay
no.
young.
No, hell no.
What if they
no.
I'm
not giving up none of my young cats that's on the rookie contract.
I'm the dude you get on the phone with. I'm naming names. I want names.
Yeah.
Hey, Zinner, I like him. Zinner, and give me Zinner in a 3.
I just drafted Zinner. No.
G. Bush, before we go on with
and
any
they like
of these,
him.
This is the same. And we're talking to Earl here. Earl is the stringiest trader of all time. Earl would not, when we were doing fake Aaron Donald trades last year, Earl came on this very program and said he wouldn't give up more than Donovan Peoples-Jones and a fourth for Aaron Donald.
That's
If
wild.
they wanted more,
That's wild.
he was hanging up the phone. So just when Earl's saying I'm not trading Zach Zinner for an all-pro receiver, just keep in mind he's been consistent with this. Earl stands on business since day one. He ain't giving up his young guys. For Aaron Donald, for Brandon Aiyuk, don't you dare call about Luke Whippler.
So you're the guy when we're playing Monopoly, huh?
No.
You're the dude that don't know.
No.
Yeah, he's fleecing.
My trade, I was trying to fleece the Rams. Like, I be trying to, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, but you're talking about the greatest player perhaps ever to play that position.
Yeah,
and you're going to offer him Donovan Peoples-Jones in a fourth?
I think he's out the league, too.
Here's the thing. Sometimes, man, you got to gauge people. You got to know how to talk to them. You got to try to, convince him. Like, hey, Aaron Donald is close to retirement, right? You don't want to have to keep paying that salary. You don't even know if he's committed to your team long term.
No, you don't.
Let me get that
if you're
off
going to
your
give him
hands.
up, you're going to get a lot.
I'm trying to put some toxic thoughts into their mind to make them say, you know what? The hell with Aaron Donald.
He would have heard a dial tone by the time he got Jones out of his mouth.
Hello.
Donovan People. Hello?
Hello.
Rams? Hello?
Trying to call back like, hey.
Hey, you didn't even let me finish. I was like,
That's crazy. Nah, yeah.
This number's been blocked.
But I just don't. No, Andrew Berry will not give up because he understands. Listen, he's building this team out for this team to be competitive for a long period of time.
But what if he ain't no good?
He's been saying the same thing for years.
What if Zinner don't turn out to be good?
We don't know that. He has not gotten his opportunities yet.
I know, but I know what Brandon Aiyuk is looking at him. I'm looking at him in the face.
It doesn't matter. San Francisco isn't going to do that anyhow.
Yeah, they don't want that.
They're not taking an unproven commodity for a all-pro wide receiver. They're not going to do it.
That's why I'm more of I'd rather take the cash. I don't want to take I know what the players are. I'm ready to do draft picks. But that Newsome trade though,
So like, okay, so you.
I would think about it.
I would think about that
You're
one
talking
real
2024 draft picks, right? You're not giving up the first. So you willing to part with a 2nd through a 7th?
Yes.
We got 3 more.
Yes.
4 more, excuse me.
You're in win it now mode.
Yeah.
If you're doing
chips
that.
are all in.
You're all in.
Next one comes from @Fatboy Season Inc.
What a
Cooper
name.
and a 3rd or 4th. Worst case, a 2nd. Ayuk is younger, but the Browns have to pay him, so that negates some of the leverage of him being younger. Got to give up Coop, so San Francisco is a true number 1 for 2024 to let Debo be Debo.
Yeah, no.
I think we're all out on anyone thing with Cooper, right?
Yeah. No, you're just swapping really good receivers.
Yeah.
And I know you're getting a younger receiver and perhaps a better right now receiver, but
that don't move you over the top.
I don't
like I can
think it
understand if it
does.
was Justin Jefferson.
Maybe I'm biased, but I don't think Brandon Aiyuk is better right now. I think
You don't?
No.
But let me ask you, G. Bush. Right now, age and everything considered, you got Brandon Aiyuk standing there and you got Amari Cooper standing there, and you can have whichever one you want. Who you taking?
Dang. I'm gonna say this. I done seen Amari Cooper do it with nobodies, and backups and PJ Walker, bro. Like to be able to put them.
Is it though? Is it youth?
Yeah.
The deciding factor here.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the numbers, Aiyuk has the edge in everything.
Right. A couple.
And he's got a decided edge in age.
Yes.
So for me, these two guys are basically the same guy. If you looked at their blind stats and you didn't know who they were,
same dude.
They're the same guy last year. Now, granted, Aiyuk had a much better quarterback throwing to him, but also he wasn't the number 1 option in that offense last year.
No. And plus he did that with, think about it. He had Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
He got Kittle. He got Debo Samuel.
He's got some players in that offense.
And so I'm gonna just say this. I would ride with Amari Cooper just for this. Like I just know. Like if I was playing and I was playing against Amari Cooper, that's the dude I can envision on Super Bowl Sunday just carving people up and be like,
I could too.
Is he that good?
Gee, I could too.
Ain't that I can just imagine him showing up and being unstoppable in the Super Bowl for no. And I don't know. I've always had, like, if I envision the Browns making it somewhere, right, and the Browns getting to a certain place, I envision that it's Amari Cooper that just makes these plays down the stretch, that steps up, and it's just like, wow, I can't believe this guy is doing this. And I didn't see Brandon Aiyuk in the Super Bowl a couple times.
He's just been so consistently good for so damn long. This is a dude who got 2 or 3 200-yard receiving games under his belt. He had a 3-touchdown game against Philadelphia when he was in Dallas. Like, he's just a constant pro. He's a veteran leader, a route running assassin. He can still high point the football. He doesn't have like elite speed. We still got enough speed to take the top off the defense.
Yeah,
it's not like we don't see Amari going downfield for 20, 30
Right.
yards.
I'm with you. Look, I started this by saying I'm just not trading Amari Cooper for Brandon Aiyuk. I think what took us down this road is it probably is a natural player that San Francisco would be interested in if they wanted to keep their wide receiver core as strong as it is. They would want Amari Cooper. I just don't know that I would do it.
Tyvis alluded to the system that they run in San Francisco, and what Amari does well, you kind of like plug and play. He already fits what Shanahan wants to do.
Sure.
I'm not trying to get. I can see if they traded and Amari Cooper went there, San Francisco would mess around and win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Not at our expense. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, like no, we get it Aiyuk without something else. Now we talking. Now I would go on a limb and say, oh, listen, forget the Baltimore Ravens. You give me 3 of them dudes, stop. Come on now.
Yeah, Aiyuk and Cooper in the same offense would be tough because you're going to have to pick your poison as a defensive coordinator who you're going to try to stop.
Can you imagine them running lanes? You could just run the ball like that.
Well, that's in part why San Francisco is the
right
perfect.
now.
Yes, that's why they're the perfect system right now. They've got a cheap quarterback,
very cheap,
who can make the throws outside the numbers, and he's got 2 threats on both sides. He's got threats on both sides. What does that do? Stretch, and lanes are open for Christian McCaffrey.
This last year is going to be that cheap.
What's that?
This is the last year.
You're right. That's why if you're San Francisco, you're looking the chances of winning a Super Bowl when you have a rookie quarterback who plays at an elite level is as good as you're going to get. Seattle never came close to threatening for a Super Bowl once that Russell Wilson got off that rookie deal. They had to pay everybody, and they found out they had to let a lot of those Legion of Boomers and that defensive team that was so stout, they had to let those guys go because they had to pay their quarterback. San Francisco, you talk about the Browns being in mode to win it now. San Francisco knows John Lynch is not a dummy. He knows you're going to add a lot of zeros to that paycheck for the quarterback. And when you do that, you have less money to spread around elsewhere. He's got to win. He wants it this year because there's no guarantees once you pay the quarterback.
Couple more trades to run through. We'll do this one quick because we've already mentioned it, but our guy Eddie said he trade an upcoming first and a mid-round pick for Aiyuk. You guys are all out on first-round picks, as we said earlier.
I am, and also because of what I just mentioned, San Francisco's not in a build for 2 or 3 years down the road mode. They may have a need that they've defined. They want to improve the weakest link of their team right now this year. I don't think a first-round pick does much for them. They got to win now.
To be honest with you, Amari Cooper beat the 49ers by himself, low-key, last year. There was nobody else playing.
Had his DBs grabbing their ankles.
Like, this dude, Amari Cooper, won that game by himself.
And John Lynch was in attendance.
Yes, he was. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Can't do that. Yeah. Go ahead.
And the last one comes from Clee Life 2369. Jack Conklin and a first. So we're out on a first. What would you put with Conklin that you'd feel comfortable putting together as a proposal for Brandon Aiyuk? Conklin and what?
A third or a fourth?
Third.
Yep.
Or Elijah Moore.
Because
at some point you got a glut of these receivers. Yeah. What are you going to do with all of them? So you got to offload one of them.
I'll give him Conklin. I'll give him that third and a receiver.
Oh, you do a pick and
no,
Elijah Moore.
that's too much.
That's a lot.
That's too much.
But here's what I'm going to
I would do Conklin and Elijah Moore.
What they're going to rebuttal and retort is, we ain't even seen Jack Conklin in the whole year. He ain't even been on the field with you. Can he pass a physical?
Well, they would all be pending on it.
I'm like, nah, he's been injured. I don't know if he's going to be ready to game one. I want something else.
Well, they poke and prod him, though.
Yeah.
They'd get their look at him.
I would push because of his injury history. I would push. I want a player and a pick to kind of sweeten the deal for me.
All right. For the record, I would do Conklin and Elijah Moore.
Cool.
I
think we're at a
can't do two
consensus.
players.
No first, no Cooper.
I'm not doing
you like
players.
your,
talk about
you
the
like
rest.
your army man. Give me my army man. You know the little.
If I'm getting two, I'm giving. If I'm giving two, I'm getting.
I'm like, but this is a general and it's a bigger. This guy kills more people, Earl.
I do Conklin in the third.
I need 5 privates.
Five for 5.
Listen, injuries is real, man. We seen a lot of players on every single team get hurt. The Browns had 27% of their cap on IR at the end of the season. Like, you talk about project stockpile, right? Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to have a more realistic mindset of, okay, as many weapons as you can deploy, like, make sure you can obtain those because players do get hurt. And, like, trading Conklin, I'm not opposed to that, but this is the last year he got any guaranteed money on his deal or something like that, right? The Browns was in a situation last year to where they was out without their top 3 tackles at one point during the season. And if this is such a make-or-break year for Deshaun Watson, then you want to make sure that you got all hands on deck and that offensive line is intact. Now, I'm saying that, like, we're saying, okay, if I was to offer anybody, it'd probably be one of the guards, but I'm only saying that because of the depth of the offensive line and what they've done in the draft the last 2 years.
Right.
But at the end of the day, this is just all talk that ain't gonna never amount to nothing.
Okay, well, we'll see.
We're gonna see.
I tend to think you're right, but we'll find out. And I'd be stunned if he ends up with the Patriots. What does that do for the Patriots?
Like Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry and told y'all time and time again, they love their wide receiver room.
Ad nauseum, they've told us that.